What's up, y'all? It's your boy KSK Sports here. And the biggest winner for the Cleveland Browns in free agency is 12. Why do I say that? Well, Andrew Barrett did say once upon a time that he was going to look internally and externally when it comes to the Cleveland Browns quarterback position. Well, free agency has come and passed, and 12 is still penciled in to be QB1 by most people. And if you finish the season as the QB1, you're most likely going to go into training camp as said QB1. So the Cleveland Browns didn't add any quarterbacks in free agency. Although we heard a lot from Cleveland media about Malik Willis, about Kyler Murray, about countless other quarterbacks. None of them ended up in Cleveland. Kyler Murray ended up in Minnesota, which if you would have dug a little bit at all, Cleveland media, you would have knew that was going to be the case because Kyler Murray has an affinity for the Vikings. He was a Vikings fan growing up. So if he has a choice to pick which team he's going to go to, don't you think if he had the opportunity to pick between the Cleveland Browns and maybe another organization and the Minnesota Vikings, that he would choose the one that's a little more stable and the one that he was a fan of growing up? But, Cleveland media, they don't like to do that. They don't like to dig. They don't like to dig deeper. Like actual journalists are supposed to. They practice in the yellow journalism, the sensationalism, the propaganda side of journalism, the pontification. Okay? We think this. So y'all giving y'all opinions more than actually having substantial information. Okay, that's fine for somebody like me to pontificate. I don't claim to be a journalist. Okay, I don't have those standards I have to uphold. Like a Jason Lloyd. Jason Lloyd is a propagandist. How you gonna call yourself a journalist and you're just a gossip artist? Okay, that's what you are. You say you're 25 years deep in the game, but you're still terrible at your job. It's not a flex to say you're 25 years into a craft. You got a little spit there, my bad. And you're not any good at it. It's not a flex. Okay? If I was doing YouTube for the next 25 years and I'm not at 100,000 followers, that would probably be seen as a failure. Okay? You couldn't have a better market to be in than Cleveland? I'm not saying maybe that's what he wants to be. Maybe that's where he wants to be, but I'm just saying, I'm getting a little derailed off what I want to say because Jason Lloyd just really irks my nerves. But 12, this is what this video is about. 12 being the biggest winner in free agency for the Cleveland Browns. They didn't add a quarterback, okay? And now, there are going to be some rumors and rumblings out there because it's Cleveland media. And they need to uphold the anyone but Shedeur narrative. So the next name out there, naturally, is, somebody like a J.J. McCarthy or Anthony Richardson. Those two names are probably going to be the ones that are shoved down Cleveland Browns fans' throats for the next few months leading up to the NFL draft. That you're going to see this for the next NFL drafts in about 5 weeks from now. So this is what you're going to see in Cleveland media. Pay attention to it. You're going to see these rumblings about J.J. McCarthy, about Anthony Richardson, those type of quarterbacks that they were picked highly, but they don't really have solid grounding with their original team. Somebody that's like Anthony Richardson or J.J. McCarthy, top 10 picks who have not lived up to their top 10 pick, not their billing. See, this is why when there's scouts and people like Jason Lloyd talking about, in NFL circles, Shedeur's not looked at that great. But those same people in NFL circles, they was trying to convince you that Anthony Richardson was a top 10 quarterback. They was trying to convince you that J.J. McCarthy was a top 10 quarterback. They was trying to tell you that Michael Penix Jr. was a top 10 quarterback. They was trying to tell you that Zach Wilson was a top 10 quarterback. They was trying to tell you that Mitch Trubisky was a top 2 quarterback. So why am I supposed to believe all these people when they say things like, Shedeur is this and Shedeur is that? You know what Shedeur is? Shedeur is the biggest winner in free agency because the Cleveland Browns, they have not gone out there and got a veteran quarterback, not yet. Now, people are like, oh, they still might do so, and that's correct. But to date, if you were going to get a quarterback in the top rung, you know, like a hot quarterback like Malik Willis or Kyler Murray, it was incumbent upon you to get it the first day of free agency, like last Monday. That's when you get your quarterback that you want. Now, what you have now is where the Cleveland Browns, this is where they kind of dwell in. They can't get the top guy, even if that's what they want to do. So, yeah, they might down the road get some bottom barrel quarterback like a Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett type. You know, that type of quarterback. That's like a bottom 5 starter in the NFL. It's like you're not consistently going to win with the bottom 5 quarterback. That's a veteran. Okay? Now, the thing is with Shedeur, the numbers bear out, sure. Bottom 5 quarterback according to, if you want to look at advanced analytics and all that dogmatic stats and stuff. But if you're looking for somebody to develop, which Kevin Stefanski really didn't look like he seemed like he wanted to do with Shedeur last season. If you're looking to develop somebody to be molded into your system, that's where Shedeur is going to flourish. Because that's what the Cleveland Browns, they were telling you last year. They picked him in the 5th round. He's a developmental quarterback. So if he's a developmental quarterback, develop him. I mean, this is simple. Okay? So what I'm looking at it from my perspective, I don't have any insider knowledge of the Cleveland Browns. I don't talk to people inside the organization. This is just my opinion as a Cleveland Browns fan. They didn't go into the well free agency and pick a veteran quarterback. So you want to pick a less version of Kyler Murray or Malik Willis? Is that the route you want to go? I don't think that's a good route to go. So what do you do from here? Okay, do you go forward with the quarterback room you already have? Shedeur, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel. Or do you trade Dylan Gabriel away and you add another veteran quarterback? Like, I don't even know what veteran quarterback is out there. Like, Marcus Mariota. I don't know. Okay, I was thinking kind of like, Tyler Huntley, but he got re-signed by the Ravens. So it's like, hey, options are limited. It seems to me that, they're going to go forward with 12 being a guy until he's not the guy. Okay, that's just what it is. That's the nature of the NFL. If 12 goes out there, he performs like he's capable of, and we know that he can, then it's going to be his job for this year and going forward. We understand that, Shedeur Sanders fans. That's all we want for Shedeur. To get an opportunity, a fair opportunity, to go out there and perform in a system that's favorable to him, at least give him a chance with a competent offensive line, competent weapons around him, a competent running game. Then if he doesn't perform from there, then it's like, all right, he ain't the guy for us. But until that point, you really don't have any idea what you have in Shedeur. Zach Wilson got almost 35 or 40 starts. Mr. Trubisky's similar. You got these guys that can't play a lick in the NFL just because they were top 10 picks. They're going to just keep getting chances and chances, which is unfair to somebody like Shedeur that should have been a top 10 pick. You can't tell me that guys like Zach Wilson, Mr. Trubisky, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, you can't tell me those guys are more talented than Shedeur. But they got picked in the top 10, so they get a longer leash, which is, life is unfair. Okay, it just is. Shedeur, you should have never dropped past the 2nd round, if we're going to be honest about it. But, for Shedeur, man, this is the best possible scenario for him. You got a coach in there that rocks with you. You got a quarterback room where you're just looking at disheveled, broken down, mentally broken down, emotionally broken down, physically broken down Deshaun Watson, who has a big contract. Yeah, sure. But as far as being on the field is 5+ years removed from being him on the field. And then you got Dylan Gabriel, who he's already looking at like, man, this guy ain't no competition to me. So 12 got to be looking at the room as it's currently constructed. Like, hey, they didn't add anybody to the room. I'm the biggest winner in free agency right now. Okay, I'm looking pretty Gucci to be the QB1 unless they draft somebody in the first round, which is possible. It's possible. I'm not gonna sit here and just sugarcoat it. It's very possible the Cleveland Browns, they could draft Ty Simpson. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all anything that y'all don't already know. I mean, I wouldn't advise them to pick Ty Simpson, but it's very possible that they could pick Ty Simpson. But to date, right now, at the making of this video, Shedeur, biggest winner with the Cleveland Browns free agency. You getting him talent on the offensive line. The offensive line was god-awful last year. It was bad. Every people want to talk about metrics. Every metric you look at, the same metrics that say, oh, Shedeur was this in QBR and this EPA. They're the same metrics of Pro Football Focus that said his offensive line was dog SHIT. It's funny, Jason Lloyd, don't bring that up. It's all about Shedeur this, Shedeur that. Don't add in any context to the fray because that's what Cleveland media does. They just want this anyone but Shedeur narrative. So they just want to fit into that without adding any context, anything. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes would have struggled under that offensive line. We've seen Patrick Mahomes, when he has a bad offensive line, struggle in Super Bowls. Just saying, if you have a bad offensive line, you could be one of the top 3 quarterbacks of all time, and Patrick Mahomes, and you're not gonna do very good if you don't have an offensive line in front of you. So yeah, biggest winner, Shedeur, because he got an offensive line in front of him. They're gonna add probably a left tackle in the first round, probably another wide receiver, and God forbid, look, Ty Simpson. I don't know what he's gonna be in the NFL, but the Cleveland Browns have so many other needs, and if you're gonna comp Ty Simpson to Shedeur Sanders as a 5th round pick and one as a 1st round pick, and you can get value from Shedeur already under contract, why would you then try to go get Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson isn't head and shoulders above Shedeur Sanders, so why would you waste a 1st round pick on somebody that you don't even know could be better than somebody you already got in the 5th round? That just doesn't make any logical sense to me. So, Shedeur Sanders, the biggest winner, because it doesn't look like to me, or appears to me, that Cleveland Browns are going to pick a quarterback in the 1st round. They also did not pick a quarterback in free agency. Now, I think within the next month leading up to the draft, you're probably going to hear names and rumblings out there. Nothing has stuck. Okay, I do believe there is going to be some moves to be made. I already told y'all what I think about the situation. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be traded, probably to the Falcons. And then the Cleveland Browns are probably going to add either a veteran quarterback, a bottom barrel veteran quarterback that's going to be a QB2, QB3 type, or they're going to draft a quarterback in the middle rounds. Now, for me, I would probably rather them go into the bottom of the barrel and pick somebody that's going to be a known backup. You know, somebody in the Bailey Zapp realm. Probably not Bailey Zapp because you already know what you have in it. But I don't even know what quarterback is out there. I mean, maybe Marcus Mariota is out there that can be penciled in as a backup QB3. I would not mind that because I think Marcus Mariota, he would come in. He probably would not challenge Shedeur, but he could run Todd Monken's offense because he's looking for somebody that's dynamic and somebody that can work out a structure, which Marcus Mariota can. I wouldn't mind somebody like that because he would be cheap, and I don't think he would challenge Shedeur or be brought in to challenge Shedeur for that QB1 position. I'm not saying I don't want anybody coming in to compete with Shedeur, because I already think that it's going to be Shedeur versus Deshaun Watson because that's what everybody's telling you. That's what everybody's telling you. I mean, by all the moves the Cleveland Browns are making to the offensive line, they're already telling you that, hey, at the bare minimum, we are fine with our quarterback room, the top 2 quarterbacks in our quarterback room. Now, that QB3 position is probably fluid. They're probably looking more not at Dylan Gabriel, probably more either a mid-round quarterback or somebody like a Marcus Mariota to round out the quarterback room. So, for me, that's a big win for Shedeur. That they didn't go out and get a Malik Willis or a Kyler Murray, who would probably be penciled in as QB1 without much of a actual quarterback competition. This is what it is. So, with that being said, Shedeur is the biggest winner in free agency. All right, KSK Sports rolling out. Like, comment, subscribe. Help your boy get over 500 subs. I'm nearing it. I can't do it without you guys. I appreciate all the love, all the support. Thanks for rocking with KSK. All right, I'm rolling out. Peace.